Good morning, students. Once again, I am welcoming you to the biology class. And in the last classes, we have seen the different uses of microbes in our human welfare. And now today we are going to discuss about the biocontrol agents and the biofertilizer. That means the microbes that we are using as biocontrol agent and as biofertilizer. Hope all are doing well. Stay home, stay safe, and please go through all these syllabus, all these topics so that it can help you to study well. Okay, so let's come to the topic. So today's topic is the what are the different microbes that has been used in the biocontrol agents. Now, I think you are all excited to see what are the different types of microbes, yeah, how the microbes are helping in our day-to-day activities. We have seen the use of microbes in our household products, the use of microbes in the production of biogas, then use of the microbes in the production of different types of antibiotics, beverages, etc. So today we are going to see how these microbes are taking or have the role in the process of biocontrol agent. So before coming to the topic, you should know what do you mean by the word biocontrol agent. Okay, so everyone knows the word meaning of bio is living. So what do you mean by biocontrol? We are using the organisms, yeah, the living organism for controlling the some kind of pest, some kind of insects, or as adding as a manure. Okay, so that is coming under the biocontrol agent. So what do you mean by the biocontrol method? So it is a use of the biological method. Okay, it is the use of the biological method. For what we are using this method? For controlling the different kinds of plant diseases as well as the pest. So we know that the main problem that is facing the farmers is that their crops are getting affected. The crops are getting affected with different types of diseases and the pests. And what is the solution they normally do? They apply the chemicals. They apply the pesticide, they apply insecticide, they apply weedicide. But these are all chemicals. So what's happening? In a long run of when you consider a long run method, then the application of these chemicals will not be good. So what is our next option? We have to introduce the biocontrol method. So that is an alternative solution. This biocontrol method is an alternative solution and we have to avoid the use of the chemical. And what is the means if we are using the chemicals, of course we are getting a good protection at that time. But if you are thinking about a long-term process, your use of the chemicals has to be reduced. Otherwise, the quality of the soil will be lost. It can affect the food chain, it can affect the food web, and totally it will upset. Yeah, it will disturb the ecological balance. I think it's clear. So what is the advantageous part whether we are using biocontrol method or we have to use a chemical method? Of course, we know that it is the use of the biological method to control the pest, to control the insect or to remove the weeds. So I have given here what are the different problems that we have to face if we are using the chemical method continuously. So even though there are production will be more, there are lots of ecological side effects. Like the chemicals, they can contaminate the groundwater, they can enter the food chain and it becomes a threat for the human life and it affects a large number of the organisms. And if we are spraying these pesticides, what will happen? These chemicals will enter into the water or we can say that water bodies and whatever animals are in the aquatic bodies, they will also get affected. So totally we can say that it will upset our ecological balance because it is all connected. We know that the food chain, the organisms are all connected in the food chain. If the consumption, yeah, if the one of the consumers is taking anything that is containing a large amount of the chemical, then it will come to the system of our body because we know that some of these chemicals are non-biodegradable. So since it is non-biodegradable, the amount of chemicals keep on adding up in an ecosystem. And we are familiar with the word biological magnification, in which the amount of chemicals keeps on increasing from one level to the another level. Or we can say from one food chain system to the another food chain system. What's the reason beyond that? Because these chemicals are non-biodegradable. So what we have to do? We have to limit the use of these chemical fertilizers. Understand the difference? So we have to see what are the advantages of the biocontrol method, and we are having a long-term process. So automatically, of course, we have to use the biocontrol method, because chemicals, even though they are giving the production more, but for a long time, what will happen? The fertility of the soil can be lost, the quality of the soil can be lost, and it's very difficult to restore that quality of the soil. So I'm showing you the video here where the pictures of some of the pests have been shown, and they have been used for killing the another pest. Okay, some of the organism, some of the living organism are showing here which can be used to kill the pest. Yeah, we kill the organism that is causing the different diseases. So let's see this video. So this is a agriculture field.
Pest and disease is the method of priority in organic farming. Use of parasitoids is one of them. Trichoderma insect, belonging to the group of wasps, is the popular one. This attacks the eggs.
You can see the sunflower here and see
Trichoderma
the
female
disease.
injects its egg into the eggs of other insects. The larva eats all the content of the host egg. Trichoderma is effective on stem borers of paddy and sugarcane and cotton bollworm. Trichoderma eggs are produced in the lab. Egg card is stapled to the crop at the rate of 40,000 eggs per acre. Many species of wasps and few species of flies are useful as parasitoids. These insects develop on or inside the body of other insects and kill the host.
These are all biocontrol methods. So see how the plants are being
Use
protected.
of predator insects is another important method of biological pest control. Natural enemy of the pest insect is identified first. Then it is developed in the lab and released in the crop. Few years ago, woolly aphid became a major pest on sugarcane. Microbes insect was used as predator. Eggs of this insect was produced in the lab on large scale and
You can see the
distributed to
eggs,
farmers.
and that will be
Likewise,
sprayed.
ladybird beetles are the well-known predators in the nature. These attractive tiny beetles predate on aphids and scale insects. Green lacewing bugs are also the useful predators. Adult lacewing bug lays eggs in groups on leaves and other parts of the plant. Larvae emerging out of these eggs feed on the eggs and larvae of other insects. 1,000 eggs of green lacewing bug are sufficient for 1 acre. It predates on mites, whiteflies,
See how they are
lice,
eating the other
American
organisms.
bollworm of cotton, etc. Snakes, frogs, spiders, and dragonflies, etc. are the efficient predators in the nature.
Okay. So these are the pictures of some of the organism biocontrol agents that we have used for the controlling of the pest. So it's a live picture for you. So we can see that these organisms, like they have been produced in the form of spores or eggs, or that contains that organism, and when they have been intaken by these pests, what will happen? They will die. Okay, so this is the best method. Yeah, this is the most safest method that we can use to kill the pest or insect that is attacking our crops. I think it's clear for you. The video is very clear. Now let's see some of the examples that have been given in your NCERT book. So we can see here the first picture has been given here is the picture of the ladybird. Okay, everyone is familiar with this bird, the ladybird, and this is a very famous bird, like it is a very famous insect, and it is used to control the aphids. Okay, and what are these aphids? Aphids actually, you can see here, these aphids will actually infect the stem, and they will bore the stem, and they drink that liquid that is present in the stem and infect the plant. So if you are using the ladybird, they can control the aphids. And another common one that we can see is the dragonfly, and they are mainly used for controlling the mosquitoes. So these birds are, these animals, yeah, these organisms have been used for controlling these aphids as well as in the mosquitoes. And the picture is very clear. This is a picture of the ladybird, and the ladybird is eating. Yeah, it is attacking. It is eating the small organism that is the aphid, and aphid will normally infect the stems, and it will cause the infection. Now, this is another one important application that we have to see. What are the advantages of the organic farming? See here, I have made a vermicompost plant, then the green leaf manures, then the crop rotations are there, then manures we are adding, then the biofertilizer, animal husbandry, and the biological type of fields. Okay, so these all together will constitute the organic farming. So here we can see we are not using any chemicals here. Okay, we are not using any chemicals here, but this is an integrated project. This need an integration between all kinds of waste material that is coming from the different sources, and we have to integrate it and we have to incorporate it properly. Then we can utilize the techniques inside the organic farming. Clear? So the as a picture of organic farming, see how they are doing. It's well maintained. You can see the picture. It's very nice to see this picture. It's well maintained picture. The water bodies are there and they are not applying any chemicals here. Only thing they are applying is the organic farming where they are using vermicompost, compost, manures and different types of the biocontrol agents to control the pest. Now, next example given here is the trichoderma. And this trichoderma is a fungus. And what is the application of this trichoderma? They protect the root system and they can control the plant pathogen. Okay, so this trichoderma, you see the picture here? This is a packet of trichoderma. That means the spores are available. And what they do, they spray these spores on the root or they can mix it with water and they can pour it into the soil. So what will happen, the roots will absorb this spores, that the roots will absorb this and they can kill the pest. So this is an effective method of controlling the pest. And another one that is given, that is a baculovirus. Okay, this is a baculovirus and they attack the insects and also the other arthropods. The picture has been given here. As you can see here, like the leaf is here. The leaf has been attacked by one of the insect and they started eating, and the insect actually we applied with this baculovirus, and leaf that contain this baculovirus have been eaten by this caterpillar and their lysis is taking place. That organism is getting killed. Okay, so that is the second application, a second organism that is discussed here. Now the third part is the Bacillus thuringiensis. Normally it is called as a bt. B stands for bacillus and T stands for the thuringiensis, and there's a lots of applications there, like we can produce the bt cotton plant, we can produce the bt tomato also. Okay, so what is this? We are taking the gene of this Bacillus thuringiensis. It's a bacteria. Okay, they have a special gene. The name of the gene is cry gene. So we take that cry gene and we make into spores or we make into spore-like structures. And this spores, yeah, this chemical, this gene that contain this one can be mixed with the water and we can sprinkle it above the plants. Otherwise, we can make this crygene using the biotechnology process that we will discuss in the later chapters. So, you might be not aware how we are making the BT plants, but this technique, like we are making the powders of this Bacillus thuringiensis and we are sprinkling it on the plant. So, whenever this caterpillar, whenever the larva of this organism comes and start eating the leaf, what will happen? This organism spores, yeah, the gene will get into their body and they produce some toxin inside the body of this caterpillar, and that causes the lysis of their intestine, yeah, lysis of their gut wall. Clear? So after the lysis, the organism will die. So whenever any caterpillar comes and attack this plant, they ingest this gene, they ingest this powder, and what is the after effect of this powder? They can cause the lysis of their gut, finally killing that organism. Clear? So let's see the effect. Let's see here. So this is a plant and this is the organism that is attacking that plant, and normally what this organism will do, what this worm will do, they start taking the leaf, and when the leaf production decrease, the larva of they started taking the leaf, and when the leaf production decrease, the productivity also normally decrease. So we already applied with this one, and this get into the gut of these caterpillar or the larva, and they gets activated, and once they get activated inside the gut, they causes the lysis. Understand? They causes the lysis of the gut, leading to the death of that microorganism. Okay, leading to the death of that microbe. I think it's very clear. So again, I'm telling this BT, when we apply the BT, this BT will enter, the gene that is responsible for that will enter the organism and they get activated. Once they get activated, they produce the toxic substance. Okay, otherwise they are not activated, but in the gut of this organism, they get activated because of the pH, and this causes the lysis. It's clearly shown here that their gut wall is getting broken. So the lysis is taking place, and because of this lysis, the microbes will get died. So this is one of the biocontrol method. This is very effective method. Normally, it's mainly applied for the protection of the cotton plant, because we know that since if the larva gets attacking this organism, this plant, the leaves of this plant will be consumed, and because of the decrease in the production, the productivity of the cotton plant will get reduced. So we can see the newly produced cotton, normally we call it as a BT cotton. Okay, so BT cotton, the name indicates that they are resistant to this microbe. I think it's clear for you. Now let's. Okay, so now the next part is the microbes that we are using as the biofertilizer. Normally we apply fertilizers in the soil, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. But again, I am telling that causes, might be the production will be more at that time, but later on it will cause the low production, because the soil is getting affected, the food chain is getting affected, the ecological balance will be disturbed. So let's go to the biofertilizer. With the help of these organisms, with the help of these microbes, we can increase the fertility of the soil. So let's see which are the different microbes we are using for that purpose. So biofertilizers, they are actually used for enriching the nutrient quality, and we are using bacteria, we are using the fungi and the cyanobacteria for the biofertilizers. Okay, now let's see which are the bacteria that we are using. That is a process called symbiotic association. Yeah, symbiosis. The best example is Mycorrhiza. Now, what is that association? That is an association between the fungus as well as the roots of the higher plants. Okay, but here that is the rhizobium that is living inside the root nodules of the leguminous plants. We know what is a leguminous plant. One example I will tell you, that is a pea plant, jo mattar hai. Okay, this pea plant, they are called as leguminous plant, and their roots contain this rhizobium bacteria. Now, what is the use of this rhizobium bacteria? There are lots of chemical reactions that is taking place, and you have learned this one in class 11, that how the formation of root nodules takes place in the leguminosa. You can refer it. Otherwise, you can just go through that portion, so it will remind you how the root nodules have been formed. So because of this root nodules, with the help of the rhizobium, they can help in the fixation of the atmospheric nitrogen. We know that nitrogen is present in the air, so that has to be fixed into the soil, then only the plants can absorb that nitrogen in the form of nitrite or nitrate. Okay, so that has been done with the help of the bacterium rhizobium. So that is a symbiotic association. And some of the other microbes that is present in the soil are the Acetobacter and the Azospirillum. So with the help of these two bacteria also, we can help in to increase the nutrient quality, yeah, increase the nitrogen production of the soil. Now the next group is the fungi, that as we told that is a process called the mycorrhiza. So what is mycorrhiza? That is an association between a fungus and the root of the higher plant. And here the plant that is described is the glomus. And what they do, they helps in the absorption of the phosphorus and water from the soil. Okay, so the fungus, they help to absorb the phosphorus and water from the soil, so that the production of the plant can increase. Clear? So we can see here the picture of the fungus has been given, and this fungus, they help to increase, they help to absorb the nutrients from the soil. Okay, and this association between the fungus and the roots of the higher plant, generally we call it as a mycorrhizal association. I think the word is also familiar. You are learning in the smaller classes. So what is a mycorrhiza? That is a symbiotic association between a fungi and the roots of the higher plants. Now, The next common one is a cyanobacteria. What is the other name of cyanobacteria? Blue-green algae. So we know that the cyanobacteria helps in the photosynthesis also. Blue-green algae. Okay. Now the cyanobacteria, some pictures have been given here. This is also a symbiotic association. This is a nostac, and this is Anabina, Esola, and the free living like nostac, Oscillatoria, blue-green algae. All these are helping to increase the fertility of the soil by fixing the nitrogen in the soil. Okay, so this is the use of the cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, other name is the blue-green algae. Now, there is a comparison chart I have given here. What is the difference? Yeah, which one is better? Is it a biofertilizer or is it the use of the chemical fertilizer? How you can explain it? So, it's an important question also. Like, what is the difference between biofertilizer and chemical? Or you can say compare biofertilizer with the chemical fertilizer. So, let's see the points one by one. The biofertilizer are the organisms that can enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. Okay. Now the fertilizers, they are the synthetic chemicals. You have to mention this point. They are the synthetic chemicals that can add, that can supply the specific nutrient that is lacking in the soil. It's nothing like they have enriched the soil, but only that specific nutrient that is lacking in the soil that we can provide by applying the chemical fertilizers. The next one, they provide almost all the nutrients, might be their action is very slow. That's why many people don't want to apply the biofertilizer, but in a long term run, the biofertilizers is the best one. Okay, and they can, already we told, they can supply the nutrients in the specific number, but their action is quick. Then the third point, the most important one, they do not degrade the soil quality. But if you are using the chemical fertilizers continuously, what is the after effect? They degrade the soil quality. That is the main thing that we have to mention. The biofertilizer, they will not degrade the soil quality, but the use of the chemical fertilizer for a long time, they can degrade the soil quality, and it's very difficult to regain it back. Okay. Now, their culturing does not cause any environmental pollution. So, then if you want to have this kind of organism, the best method that we use is the culturing method, because we want to produce in a large quantity. So, we are using the culture method, and by using this culture method, it will not add to any of the pollution. But what about the chemical fertilizer? You have the manufacturing companies, you have seen the chemical industries, they add pollution. They add pollution to the water level, they add pollution to the soil and your atmosphere also. So finally, what is your conclusion? Which one is good for use? The biofertilizer. Even though their action is little bit slow, but for a long term run, the best thing that we can utilize is the biofertilizer without any side effects. Okay, so this is a comparison chart between biofertilizers and the chemical fertilizers. I think, hope all understand. Now I've given you a little video, a small video to describe.
Earth Alive Soil Activator is a certified organic and patented biostimulant. It is composed of a proprietary blend of naturally occurring soil microorganisms
how this
and an
biofertilizers
all-natural
have been
forestry
used.
byproduct. It does not contain genetically modified organisms or chemically synthesized materials.
So there are no chemicals added here.
When applied, preferably during seeding or planting, the beneficial microorganisms of Earth Alive Soil Activator, strains of bacilli and pseudomonads, start multiplying and colonizing the rhizosphere, the narrow region of soil around the roots of the plant.
So their roots are spreading and their soil contain the microbes.
Beneficial microbial population improves the plant's uptake of nutrients by converting soil minerals into easily absorbable nutrients, thus promoting the plant's health and growth.
See, more amount of absorption will take place.
A proprietary blend of specifically selected microorganisms contained in the Earth Alive Soil Activator transforms gaseous nitrogen into a nutrient supporting and enhancing.
How the gaseous nitrogen gets converted into the nitrate or nitrite.
High affinity iron chelating compounds that make iron available to the plant roots.
It's getting absorbed.
Bacilli are known to produce a wide variety of extracellular enzymes that break down organic matter in soil, providing a source of nutrients essential to plant growth.
See, they are all get absorbed by the plants.
Pseudomonads
See the different minerals.
phosphate contained in the soil releasing
phosphate,
bioavailable phosphorus.
zinc.
Bacilli solubilize silicate and zinc, making it available to
See,
the
they are
plant.
getting solubilized.
The multiple modes of action offered by Earth Alive Soil Activator lead to healthier plants and higher crop yields, obtained with reduced fertilizer, pesticides, and water use.
Okay, it's clear. I think see how the organisms, the microorganisms are helping in the absorption of different minerals that is present in the soil. Otherwise, we have to apply the chemical fertilizer, but see how effectively they started absorbing, and that lead to the production of the more fruits. Yeah, the production got increased in a plant. I think this video is clear for you. So this is a bio fertilizer. This is a use of the biofertilizer that can enhance the fertility of the soil. I think how we can use the biopest to control the pest, and what is the use of this organic farming. So which one is better according to you? That is the organic farming, that is the use of the biofertilizer. So better to have the biofertilizer instead of using the chemicals, because we have to continue this agriculture for a long time, because India is an agriculture country. So our soil is the most important part, and the quality of the soil can be maintained by using this biological method. Thank you. I hope all of you understood this topic. Go through your syllabus and study well. Thank you.